Welcome back to Garden Studio. I'm Tessa Pinner, a designer and gardener in upstate South Carolina, Zone 8A. If you have been following along with my recent content, you know that my last video had me very pregnant. Well, I have had my baby and I'm easing back into garden work. I'm excited to share a video with you today about growing citrus in planters. This is something that I have wanted to do for a long time, and thanks to Vego Garden, who gifted me 2 rolling citrus planters, now is my chance. My 2 planters will go on either side of this gate into my kitchen garden courtyard. And this is a perfect way to kind of signal an entry, to make a little special moment. There are always lots of bees and butterflies humming in the kitchen garden, and they will be able to pollinate the citrus. It's just the perfect spot to have them. The planters from Vego Garden arrived flat packed, so they are in pieces that require assembly. I would recommend watching multiple videos from different sources just to get a robust idea of how these go together. It is simple, it is quick, but as with anything with small pieces, you just want to make sure you're using the right parts in the right place. Since I had a baby so recently and I'm trying to be good and rest, I recruited my husband to help put the planters together for me. It was actually a perfect, rewarding little paternity leave project. As a gardener in Zone 8A, if I want to grow citrus, I have to make a plan for taking the citrus indoors in the winter. For Zone 8 and lower, we have to think through the logistics of how are we going to get heavy planters inside? Where are they going to go? What are the most tolerant citrus plants for this kind of back and forth migration arrangement? One thing I love about a raised bed of any kind, and the planters and raised bed line from Vego Garden is no exception, is that the kids just love anything on their level. They want to be involved. You can see here, both of my boys were just so anxious to help fill the planters, plant the planters, play in the dirt. It's right at their level. So if you are wanting to get your kids involved in the garden, I think there's no better. I sourced a potting soil that indicates specifically both indoor and outdoor potting use because these will be indoor for several months in the winter. Well-drained potting soil is essential. So I don't know about you, but every time I go to buy potting soil, I think, really? That's expensive. And it is kind of a less glamorous thing to spend money on. But I will tell you, I am a big advocate of go ahead and spend the money on the nice potting soil. It's equivalent to digging your good hole when you plant the tree. Just get the good soil, especially for something that is going to be in a planter for a long time, like a citrus tree. In all of the research that I've done, the one kind of citrus that comes up over and over as very tolerant for beginners, which would be me in this scenario, is Meyer lemon. Meyer lemon feels special to me. It would be the kind of citrus that I would make a lemon curd with, or preserves. This spot here gets probably 10 hours of sunlight in the summer. But if you happen to have a location that you're interested in growing citrus and you have a little bit less light than that, think about the sugar content in the citrus. The more astringent, less sweet citrus can survive and thrive with a little less sun than the sweeter citrus like the oranges and the satsumas and the grapefruits. A fun time saver trick when you are filling a planter, and the larger the planter, the more time it saves, is to put your plant still in its nursery pot right into your planter and fill with potting soil around it. But it's a plug and play that is very satisfying. You just plop it right in the hole and keep on going. I wanted the feeling of the tall trees, and especially as these mature over time, I love the look of a planter and then a trunk, which we in the horticulture industry call a standard. So a tall trunk, and then you have the branching structure at the top versus like a bush format. Sometimes you'll see a lemon tree in more of a bush format, but I really wanted the tall trunk with this growth at the top just to give it a little bit more of that feeling of stateliness in the planter. That said, the structure of a standard tree form does reveal a whole lot of open soil at the top of the planter. So I wanted to fill it with some seedlings that I started this year. Nasturtium is great for spilling over edges. It will sort of fluff the ground layer of this planter over time. And of course, it's edible. So I can come out and pick the flowers and add those as garnishes to salads or desserts. Another nice feature of this planter specifically is that there is a water reservoir at the bottom. So no water actually comes out the bottom of this planter, so that when you take it inside, you don't have to worry about it leaking on your floor. But also, so in the summer, there's a bit more buffer between a bone dry tree and one that is going to be able to wake up the water when it needs it. I chose the color British green because, of course, if you know anything about my tastes, they lean heavily towards the Anglophile. So anything in the British green, I have a Haas watering can that's almost this exact, almost British racing green, and I really love it. I think it's just really playful and fun with the corrugated edges. So those are done, all planted and in their home until about Christmas time. At which point we'll unlock those locking wheels and just roll them right into their winter home in the garage. Thanks so much for watching, and thank you to Vego Garden for these lovely citrus planters. I hope that you all have a wonderful week in your own gardens. Happy gardening.